How to tan an animal hide organically without using any chemicals in 6 simple steps. Welcome in, fam. Much love. Trav here now. If you are one of my subscribers for self-development, you might be like, and you clicked in out of curiosity, I want you to see that there's just all kinds of cool stuff that you can do and get excited about that. Those of you who searched for this video specifically, I made this video because when I was trying to process this wild boar hide, I couldn't find a video quite like this. I couldn't find a training quite like this. It just wasn't very organized. People said different things, do this, do that. So in this video, I'm going to give you a really simple breakdown on how you can tan an animal hide. How nice and flexible and supple it is. Nice rug. Without using chemicals, only from things available around the house. And do it organically. You don't need to order online like weird tanning agents and stuff like that. This is how people used to do this thousands of years ago. Now, I got this hide because in Hawaii there's wild boar in the mountains. They come down and they eat our crops. People go out and hunt, we just trap. So I trapped this one, we shot it, and I thought, hey, I would better respect and honor the animal if I kept this hide. And I thought it would be a cool rug in front of my bookshelf. And when my girlfriend moves out here with her dog in a couple months, I think the dog's gonna enjoy sitting on this rug. So with that, I'm gonna take you to the whiteboard because it's gonna be nice. Okay. So step 1, say how to tan animal hide organically. Step 1 is to scrape the flesh. I mean, I guess technically step 1 would be to kill the animal. Once you have the animal and you skin it, you want to scrape off the flesh with a knife. It's okay if there's a little bit. And this order is a little bit adjustable. Here's a cool tip. I didn't know this, and it caused the hide to shrink about 10%. But if you want to keep the whole size of the hide, you scrape the flesh, you mount it on a board, a wooden board with thumbtacks. Okay, so if you can imagine, you take your hide, you put it on a board, you put in thumbtacks to stretch it out a little bit, and that also makes it easier to scrape because the way we did it, I'm holding on one side and scraping from the other side, so that caused there to be a couple nicks and a little extra flesh left in a couple places, which is okay. All right, now step 2 is salt, non-iodized. I don't really know why non-iodized, but everyone says that, so we'll go with that. You can salt it and then come back to scrape it later. What salting it is going to do is it's going to pull the moisture out of it and it's going to preserve it. So you can salt it and you leave it under salt, or you can take off the wet salt, add more salt, but you can salt it for like months, years, and come back and do the next steps later. And you can just put it on a table like I did and put it face up and put salt on top. Or you could, if you use a board, you can just put the salt on top of the board, which would be nice because as you salt and it's dehydrating, it's going to shrink about 10%. So again, I didn't do that for this one. I will be doing that next time. Step 3 is pickling with vinegar. Now, this step, like maybe thousands of years ago, they would use their own urine to make ammonia, but it makes a pretty unpleasant smell. So pickling with vinegar, what that's going to do, my understanding is it's another way to preserve it, but it is going to set the hair and prevent slipping so that the hair doesn't come out for future steps. So the pickling is gonna preserve it and prevent the hair from slipping. Small mini step here after you pull it out with pickling, and you want to do it between 2 and 3 pH. So at first I was trying to measure the pH with pH strips, but they didn't go between 2 and 3. Vinegar that you use is 2.5 pH. So if you use just mostly vinegar and a little bit of water, then it'll be okay. It'll be under 3. You could use pure vinegar also. You could cut it with water to save a little bit. The issue is if your pH is too high, then bacteria can live and can cause rotting. So small mini step here is baking soda rinse. Fill a tub with water and baking soda, the same tub. You're using a tub here. And just rinse it out, because that will neutralize it so that it's not acidic. Okay? So scraping the flesh ideally right away, but you can come back to it after any of these steps. You can salt it, and you can salt for like till it's dry, which is a couple days, or you could leave it under salt for weeks, months until you get around with it. Similarly with pickling, if you have the right acidic environment, you can just leave it in there for a long time, but at least 3 days. Step 4. I guess this is step 4. Scrape flesh, salt, pickle. Make it simpler. That step 4 is the baking soda rinse. Step 5 is egg massage. So what happens if you just salt it? And by the way, you want to do this all in the shade. Ideally. All in shade. So if you just salt it, it gets really crusty and hard, and more shriveled. But so later on, you want to add oils back into it because the salt is drawing out all the moisture. The pickling isn't really doing anything for that. And you want to, if you can feel it, it's kind of soft and kind of fatty. And it's, now it's really soft and malleable. So it could be a rug, but you can make a bag or clothing out of it. So you want to massage oil into the hide, which is going to rehydrate it and allow it to become soft. So this is where you could order some sort of a tanning solution, which is sort of harsh chemicals. Or you could, historically they use brain. You keep the brain of the animal, you kind of scramble it around and you apply the brain in. But we have chickens, you can just use eggs. For this one I took like 6 eggs, cracked it in a bowl, mixed with a little bit of water. On that same table, covered it with eggs, massaged it in, and then I left it overnight. But so that the bugs wouldn't come for the eggs, I put a burlap sack, you could use a sheet or a blanket or a piece of clothing over it, and then put baking soda on top of that to deter the insects. And then the next day, sprayed it off. Which brings us to the final step, is you basically stretch and break it, because it's still going to be pretty stiff. But now, as it's drying, and while it has the eggs solution in it, you can, basically for something like this, you find a pole, and you grab the sides and break it over the pole. You can put it on a table and grab one side and push down and apply pressure. Or if certain areas are stiff, you can work on those areas. And then that will give you a nice finished hide. It doesn't, if it smells like anything, it smells a little bit like vinegar. But has, basically no smell. It's a nice rug. I might cut mine down to size, either make it a square or a circle. I also might stitch up this major cut right here. And then I'm not doing this, but if you were to wear it as like something that's going to be in the weather, like be in the rain and be outside or be in the sun, then you want to smoke it for 30 minutes. You make a fire, like you could do it sort of a tent, wood tent, and tie the fur on top so that the skin's facing down, and that will weatherproof it. And then an optional eighth, which I might do, is cut to size. But these are the basic steps. You scrape it, you salt it, you pickle it, rinse it with baking soda, massage eggs into it, stretch and bake, smoke it 30 minutes. So for something like this, I had help. That was the longest part, and it would have been faster if we had used the board. But it took like 6 hours. The salt took like 30 minutes, but you can leave it for at least 3 days. The pickling with vinegar, you know, that also takes, this one took maybe 15 minutes, and I left it for 5 days. The baking soda rinse is like 10 minutes. Egg yolk massage, maybe like 30 minutes. And then overnight, stretch and break it. I spent about maybe 90 minutes on this. So, and then, you know, these things are, but not so much time. Okay, so what are all the things that you need? Getting to the end here. You need a knives, board, thumbtack. These are optional. Again, I didn't use them. You need salt. You need vinegar. You need baking soda. You need half dozen eggs. You need an old sheet or sack or bag or something like that. And that's all you need. So that's what I did. And I hope you found that useful. Again, for my subscribers, I'm like not even sure if I should post this, but it's something cool I learned. I'm thinking maybe like here in front of my clothing, and this will be the dog corner over here. So let me know what you think. If you found that useful, hit the thumbs up. If you watched all the way to the end for like an unknown reason, you're like, that was cool, but I didn't know that I was looking for that, then leave a comment down below so I'll know to do more videos on just cool, handy stuff. And appreciate you. Much love. And if you have your own experience, share it down below in the comments. And I'm excited to hear what you do with this knowledge. So appreciate you. Much love. Talk to you soon. Peace.